Did you know that Red Arrow's pilots fly just 1.5 meters apart at 400 knots while pulling 6 Gs? That's closer than the length of a small car, travelling faster than a Formula 1 race car while experiencing forces that will put most people unconscious. One miscalculation, one moment of hesitation, and 9 of Britain's finest pilots become statistics. But here's what will shock you even more. This isn't just about aerial acrobatics. This is about a weapon of war disguised as entertainment. A diplomatic tool more powerful than any missile, and a selection process so brutal that it makes SAS training look like a weekend hobby course. You're about to discover why the Red Arrows aren't just pilots. They're Britain's secret weapon in plain sight. Welcome back to the war. Let me paint you a picture of what it takes to earn those red wings. Out of every 40 elite RAF pilots who apply, remember, these are already the cream of the crop, with a minimum 1,500 flying hours and an operational combat tour. Only 2 or 3 will make it through. That's a 95% failure rate amongst pilots, who are already in the top 1% of military aviators. But here is where it gets interesting. The selection isn't just about flying skill. During the infamous selection week, candidates undergo something called peer assessment. They're locked in rooms together, given impossible scenarios, and watched like lab rats. The question isn't, can you fly? They already know you can. The question is, when everything goes wrong at 400 knots, will you be the pilot who saves the formation or the one who kills everyone? Flight Lieutenant Kirsty Moore, a former Red Arrows pilot, described it perfectly. They don't want heroes. Heroes get people killed. They want radiators, not drains. What she means is they need pilots who emit calm energy under pressure, not those who suck the life out of the team when things get hairy. And trust me, things get hairy. Since 1965, the Red Arrows have lost aircraft, pilots and ground crew. The most haunting incident? Flight Lieutenant Sean Cunningham died on the ground in 2011 when his ejection seat fired during pre-flight checks. He fell 220 feet because his parachute didn't deploy. An incorrectly inserted safety pin, a mistake that took less than a second to make, cost a man his life. Now here is where your brain is going to struggle to process what I'm about to tell you. When 9 Hawks fly in Diamond 9 formation, they're not just flying close, they're defying the laws of physics as most people understand them. Each aircraft creates wingtip vortices, invisible tornadoes of air that can flip a following aircraft upside down in milliseconds. The Red Arrows pilots don't avoid these vortices, they surf them. They position their aircraft in the sweet spots of upwash created by the plane ahead, using the turbulence to actually help maintain formation. It's like 9 motorcyclists riding in each other's slipstream at 400 miles per hour, except they're doing it in 3 dimensions while pulling forces that would make a fighter pilot sweat. But wait, there's more. During their training regime, and this is where it gets absolutely insane, each pilot flies 3 sorties per day, 5 days a week, for 6 months straight. That's over 300 flights before they're even allowed to perform publicly. Each flight is followed by a debrief so detailed that they analyse every micro movement, every breath, every heartbeat. The precision required is beyond human comprehension. We're talking about time inaccuracy, measured in hundredths of a second. When Red 1 calls for a manoeuvre, all 8 other pilots must respond instantly. They're not reacting, they're predicting. You've seen the coloured smoke trails, but do you actually know what you're looking at? Each Hawk carries 50 gallons of diesel fuel just for white smoke, plus smaller tanks of red and blue dyed diesel. When they inject this into the 1200 degree exhaust, it creates those perfect trails you see. But here's the thing, in 2025, the Red Arrows became the first aerobatic team in the world to perform using sustainable aviation fuel. They're not just putting on a show, they're pioneering the future of military aviation. Every loop, every roll, every death-defying manoeuvre is also a test of green technology that could revolutionise air warfare. The smoke system itself is a marvel of engineering. At maximum flow, they can burn through the entire smoke supply in just 7 minutes. 7 minutes to create a display that people remember for a lifetime. 7 minutes where everything must be perfect, because there are no second chances at 400 knots. Before we dive into the most shocking revelation about the Red Arrows, check out our membership programme with 3 ranks: Private, Sergeant and Sergeant Major. The higher you rank, the more exclusive content you'll get. And check out our merchandise. We've dropped t-shirts, hats and water bottles. Now back to the action. Here is what the government doesn't want you to fully grasp. The Red Arrows aren't just an aerobatic team, they're a £9 million per year psychological warfare operation disguised as entertainment. Every international display is carefully orchestrated diplomacy. When the Red Arrows perform in a foreign country, they're not just showing off British flying skills, they're demonstrating the precision, discipline and technological superiority of the Royal Air Force. They're flying advertisements for British military hardware, specifically the BAE Hawk trainer that dozens of countries want to buy. Think about it. What's more convincing than watching 9 pilots perform impossible manoeuvres in perfect synchronisation? It's a live demonstration that says, this is what British training produces. This is what British aircraft can do. This is what you could have if you align with us. The psychological impact is devastating. Children watch these displays and dream of becoming pilots. Politicians see the precision and think about military partnerships. Defence ministers witness the technology and start writing procurement contracts. David Cameron personally guaranteed their funding in 2013 while in India, specifically to help sell Hawker trainers abroad. Every pound spent on the Red Arrows generates multiple pounds in defence exports. They're not just pilots, they're flying salesmen for the British military industrial complex. But perfection comes at a cost, and in 2021 that cost became public in the most shocking way. An RAF inquiry revealed what insiders had whispered about for years. The Red Arrows had developed a toxic culture of bullying, misogyny and sexual harassment. This wasn't just a few bad apples, this was systemic. The pressure to maintain perfection, the isolation of being part of an elite unit, the constant scrutiny. It had created an environment where normal human decency was sacrificed on the altar of aerial excellence. The inquiry led to suspensions, retraining and a complete cultural overhaul. But it raises a disturbing question. How many other elite military units hide similar darkness behind their public glory? Every year, the Red Arrows face their ultimate test, Exercise Spring Hawk. This is where they travel overseas, usually to Greece or Croatia, for their final assessment before being granted public display authority. This isn't just practice, this is a pass or fail examination where RAF display safety authorities watch every manoeuvre, analyse every formation, scrutinise every decision. Fail here and the entire season is cancelled. But here is the twist that will blow your mind. Even after passing Spring Hawk, even after years of training, even after years of becoming legends, their tour will last only 3 years. Just when they've reached peak performance, they're rotated out. The Red Arrows deliberately sacrifice experience for fresh blood that ensures complacency never sets in. The Red Arrow's predecessors, the Black Arrows, still hold a world record that may never be broken. 22 Hawker Hunters flying in perfect formation through a complete loop at the 1958 Farnborough Airshow. 22 aircraft moving as one, defying gravity and common sense in a display of precision that modern safety regulations would never allow. That record stands as a testament to an era when military aviation pushed boundaries that today seem impossible. The Red Arrows carry that legacy forward, but in a world where safety margins are tighter, regulations are stricter, and the margin for error has shrunk to nothing. So the next time you see those 9 red hawks painting the sky with smoke and precision, remember what you're really watching. You're witnessing the culmination of a selection process that breaks 95% of applicants. You're seeing pilots who have trained for 6 months just to earn the right to perform. You're watching a diplomatic weapon that sells British military power to the world. You're seeing perfection achieved through sacrifice. The sacrifice of normal lives, normal relationships, and sometimes, tragically, life itself. The Red Arrows represent the very best of human achievement and the very worst of human cost. They are Britain's sky warriors, carrying forward a legacy written in smoke trails and measured in heartbeats. They are proof that in pursuit of perfection, we discover both our greatest potential and our darkest truths. The question isn't whether they're worth it. The question is, what are you willing to sacrifice for excellence? If this deep dive into military aviation excellence has left you hungry for more, check out our aviation playlist where we analyse the greatest fighter jets ever made. From the Spitfire to the F-22 Raptor, we break down the machines that rule the skies. Hi soldiers, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments, and check out our merch and membership programs. And don't forget to check back in again soon. That's an order.